Welcome everyone to Traffic Light Eating. So my name is Rose Patience and I am a certified health coach. My background, I have a 4-year degree in nursing. I have an additional 2-year degree and I am a master nutrition therapist. So I know a lot about nutrition, and on top of it, I'm a certified health coach. And it's my passion to teach people how to incorporate nutrition and learn how to be healthy. Traffic light eating is something that is very straightforward. It's a simple tool that you can apply, and it's going to help you make choices right on the spot. And it's so easy. The information I'm providing for you is adapted from Dr. Sears Wellness Institute, where I received my health coach certification training. And I think this idea is really fantastic, and I want to share it with all of you. This is traffic light eating. Who needs traffic light eating? Well, if you're looking for a quick, easy guide for choosing food, this could be for you. If you are not confident in your nutrition knowledge, this could be for you. If you are confident in your nutrition knowledge, this could be for you. If you're looking for a healthy start, this is a great, simple tool. So really, traffic light eating can be used by everyone, no matter where you are in your health journey. What is traffic light eating? Traffic light eating is a tool to help you eat healthier by enabling you to make better choices. And I say this because we're often inundated with conflicting information. It's almost nonstop. I'm sure you've heard, eat this, not that. And that just sets up this whole fearfulness around food that doesn't need to be there. So what we want to do is put you in charge of your health. So traffic light eating is exactly what it sounds. Red light foods, you need to stop on. Yellow light foods, be careful with. And green light foods, all the way, full tilt ahead. And here is an example of what green light foods are. All fruits, all vegetables, and water. See, the thing about all of these things is that as long as you're not allergic to them, you can enjoy lots of nutrition and lots of fiber. And those things are excellent for your body. They're good for your microbiome, on and on. Notice, though, that it doesn't say apple juice. It says apples. You have to eat the apple. Notice that it doesn't say carrot juice, it says carrots. Anytime you separate the juice from all that beneficial fiber, you're going to send your body into a roller coaster of sugar going high in your bloodstream really very rapidly, and then you'll have an inflammatory response to that, you'll have an insulin response to that, and you want your goal to be a steady blood sugar. You don't want to go to the extremes, highs or lows. And if you stick with these green light foods, fruits, vegetables, and water, you're going to be doing yourself a favor. Notice that, with water, you can flavor it with some citrus, so it doesn't have to just be boring. But water really is your best choice for drink. Next, let me give you some examples. Apples, berries, broccoli, and lettuce. Now, all of these can be found in your grocery store. It's not like I'm trying to sell you an acai berry or some weird fruit that you won't find but in a specialty store. These are in your grocery stores. Spend most of your time in the produce section and drink lots of water. When you do these things, your body's going to be happy and it'll say, good job. Now, let's talk about yellow light foods. These are your slow down foods. They're often comfort foods, and they're often very rich foods, rich in cholesterol, rich in fat, and you only want to have a moderate amount. Remember, yellow light foods are okay for every day, but not too much. So let's talk about some of these. We have pasta, we have whole grain rice, whole grain bread. I mean, honestly, it's pretty hard to eat an excess of whole grain anything. But when you get into the richer foods like eggs and chicken and nuts, these have a lot of calories to them, and they often come with like chicken in particular is very high in cholesterol. So when you want to eat those healthy proteins, they are good proteins. We do need some of these nutrients. We use cholesterol to make all kinds of cells and hormones in our body. So cholesterol can be a good thing, but excess cholesterol is not. Once a day is fine. They're okay for every day, but not too much. Well, how much? How much? For a protein no bigger than the size of your fist, and that is it. So when you're eating that chicken while you're watching football, you do not want a bucket or a huge plate of chicken wings. You want nothing more than the size of your fist, and that's where you draw the line. A rule for nuts is just eat 10. 10 nuts is satisfying. It'll give you the nutrition you want and need, and it'll benefit your body without overdoing it. Oils. You want to choose a healthy oil, but you don't want to saturate your food in oil, right? A little bit of olive oil instead of corn oil would be really the right choice for your body. So let's talk about some examples of yellow light foods. Pasta. I love pasta. I absolutely love it. But we only have pasta once a week in our house. I don't eat a huge serving of it. Pasta is pretty much an empty calorie food. It can send your blood sugar up pretty quickly. So just enough, but not too much. Another yellow light food, whole grains, healthy oils, and chicken. So these are, again, okay for every day, but not too much. Finally, we have red light foods. So do you see how easy this system is? It's like driving a car. Once you learn it, you will be on automatic. You see a green light, you know you can go through. You see a yellow light, you know you need to slow down and assess the situation. And a red light means you need to put on the brakes. And when it comes to red light foods, I don't think I really need to give you this list, but here it is. Red light food are going to be your sugary foods, your candies, your cookies, your cake, your ice cream, any kind of white flour product like white bread, bagels, English muffins, white rice. All of these are empty calories, which means they don't provide any nutrition for you and they don't have that beneficial fiber. But they're easy to fill up on, and they will all send your blood sugar skyrocketing. So red light foods need to be special occasion foods. You think about the chips or the donuts or that soda. These really, you need to reserve these once a month. That would be a good rule for red light food. So let's look at some of these red light foods. A hamburger. How many times do you eat out at a fast food joint? They are so packed full of chemicals and preservatives and texturizers and coloring just to make it look delicious. And it does taste good because of all those flavor enhancers, but these are so many chemicals that it's not doing your body a lick of good, and it's not even close to nature by the time they're done processing it. It's not going to benefit your body, and actually it's putting a stress on your body because now your body has to get rid of all those chemicals that came in with the food. Another example are these drinks from your favorite coffee shop. Now, I know they're delicious. I have them once in a while. If I want to celebrate something, if I finish a class, I will get myself a fancy drink. And honestly, I think I do this about once every 2 months. They're so packed with sugar, all that caffeine, there's hardly any nutrition in them and a lot of calories. So if you're on a weight loss journey and this is one of your things that you love, you need to save it for once a month, enjoy it, but don't have it every day. It's definitely a red light food. You need to stop and think about it. Next, cookies, chocolate. Okay, chocolate. Some people can't get through the day without having chocolate. The problem with chocolate and the problem with any of these foods is that they're very addictive. So if you're going to eat one of these foods, you're more likely to take a second and a third, and before you know it, you've just thrown in the towel and you've had a whole bunch. So you're way off track on your health journey. Again, chocolate, it's delicious. Don't I know it? Even if you're saying, well, it's dark chocolate, it's still chocolate, and it's a very high in saturated fats. Those two things are gonna put you out of balance. I would recommend chocolate very occasionally. And finally, bacon. And so many people love bacon. It is probably one of the tastiest things in the grocery store. And have you heard that everything tastes better with bacon? But you are not doing your body a good. So please stay away from these foods. Only have them once in a very great while. Now let's do a quick review. We have green foods that are go foods. Eat as much of them as you want. Remember, vegetables, fruit, water. We have yellow light foods. Those are the accoutrements, if you will, that you come along with your vegetables and your fruit. And there are things like pasta or a little dish of rice. They're okay for every day, but not too much. Also, there are things like proteins that shouldn't be any bigger than the size of your fist. Remember, okay for every day, but not too much of them. And then red light foods are stop and think foods. You only want to have these maybe once a month, because our goal is to stop mindless eating and reach for foods that are beneficial. As I said at the beginning, I'm going to not just give you information in these Zoom meetings, I'm going to tie it to my Friday food preps that are going to be Facebook Live at 9 a.m. starting January 13th. And Friday food prep is a great way to set yourself up for success. I'm not going to give you food prep that's going to take you an hour and a half to do. It's going to be quick, easy snacks that are healthy for you that you can store in your refrigerator, and then they will be there when you have a weak moment. We have times where we're tired and we just want to sit down and not worry about what we eat. So you're going to open up that refrigerator and there's going to be your Friday food prep, nutritious, healthy snack that I'm sure that you're going to appreciate that you put that time in. The food prep's only going to take you about 10 minutes on average for each of the things that I'm going to show you. And this Friday, we're going to talk about prepping protein as a snack. So hopefully you'll really enjoy that. Let's get back to our traffic light eating. Okay, so I'm going to give you some tips now to further help you with your traffic light eating. So the first one is label reading. Now, I'm not going to get deep into label reading. It doesn't have to be that complicated, and it often gets turned into something horribly complicated. So we are going to practice it today too. And the thing we're going to focus on is ingredients. And that is the one thing I want you to pay attention to when you look at your labels. And I'm going to give you some rules for your ingredients. Number one, the ingredient list should be 10 items or less, because when you think about it, you're reading a label, which means you're reading something that's been processed. They have altered that food and they need to tell you about it. It's either in a box or a can or a bag. It's already processed. So that automatically puts it in a yellow light. So this ingredient list rule is going to teach you whether it's a yellow light food or a red light food. So number one, 10 items or less in the ingredient list. Number two, you must be able to pronounce all the ingredients on the list. And number three, we don't want a ton of added chemicals. We don't want any added sugars, especially high fructose corn syrup or monosodium glutamate, which is also called MSG. You don't need that in your food. If you apply these rules, you're going to find that you're going to be able to make better decisions about whether you eat that food every day or just once in a while. Another rule for traffic light eating, or tip, is the deeper the color, the more nutrition. So on our green light foods, we can have as many vegetables as we want. But do we eat the iceberg lettuce or do we eat the kale? Well, there's also romaine lettuce, which is a nice compromise. But think about the color. Iceberg lettuce is very pale green. Kale is very dark green. And romaine is in between. So the darker, the deeper the color, the more nutrition it's going to have. So the kale is the most nutritious option. Romaine is probably the one you want to focus on before you try the kale. So does that make sense? If you want to have the most nutrition packed for your punch, go for the deepest, richest natural fruit that you can find. That'll give you the most nutrition. Another tip is that food prep makes a big difference. Remember, join me Friday, Facebook Live, starting January 13th at 9 a.m. We'll have some fun, we'll make some food, and that will help you out in your journey. Now, we are going to practice label reading. Okay, so the first one I want to talk about is this, chicken and a biscuit. This is a favorite of mine, and I cannot buy it because it's so delicious and I love to eat it, but it is not healthy at all. So I want to share with you the ingredient label. And instead of trying to hold it up in front of the screen, I took pictures of it. So let's go back to our list and take a look at what this looks like. Look at this. You might be able to read a couple of them. Enriched flour, riboflavin. There's that monosodium glutamate, soy lecithin, and then we get into disodium. I can't even pronounce it. So this is definitely a red light food, and you want to avoid it at all costs. Our next food is a prepared granola, bare naked granola. It's quite yummy. Let's look at the label. So that label has ingredients that we more or less can pronounce. So that's good. It has more than 10, but a lot of these ingredients are natural. So I would say that this is a yellow light food and one that you can enjoy every day. This is actually one of my common snacks, and I have it twice a week. I'll add some Greek yogurt and some frozen blueberries and some granola. It's delicious. It's a yellow light food. I don't eat a lot of it, but I do enjoy it. And I only have a half cup of that at a time, so I don't overdo it. All right, now our next one is going to be quicker. Oh, it's okay. Hopefully, if you do have oatmeal, you make it from this kind of an oat, and here's why. Let's take a look at that label real quick. That label has one ingredient, whole grain rolled oats. Boom, baby. It's a yellow light food. So even though it sounds like it's close to nature, it's whole grain. So you don't want to overdo it. So there you go. Yellow light food. Our next one are nuts. How many times are you told for a snack, enjoy a handful of nuts? Well, let's look at that label. That label shows us one ingredient, pecans. Yes. So this is a yellow light food. If you remember, nuts are on the yellow light list because you only want to have about 10 of them. They're very rich, they're nutritious, but don't eat too many of them. Next, we are gonna compare pears and no sugar added pears. Where do you think these are gonna fall? Okay, let's go take a look first at the regular pears. Okay, here's our regular pears, and the ingredients are pears, water, and high fructose corn syrup. Okay, that's a big no-no. And then right after that, they have more sugar and they have corn syrup. That's a lot of syrup and sugar. So even though these are pears, this is not a good choice. I would call this a red light food. All right, so now let's see how that compares to no added sugar. That sounds good, right? Here's the no added sugar one. You can see the blue label on the side. This one has something I can't even pronounce, and sucralose. What is sucralose? Sucralose is an artificial sugar, and it tricks your body into thinking it's getting sugar, and that's a bad thing. So we want to avoid that. And then finally we have chicken broth. All right, and it has chicken stock, chicken fat, and then do you see that monosodium glutamate and natural flavoring? You are confident that this is not a good choice. You just want plain old chicken broth without all that extra sugar and flavor enhancers added. So I would stay away from this can. Thank you for attending Traffic Light Eating. I hope that this is one thing that can help improve your internal environment. And you can find more about my Zoom nutrition topics at my website, patienttherapies.com/Zoom-nutrition. I will post a new Zoom link there each week, or you can go to that site and sign up. Click on the link to sign up, and I'll send you an email delivered directly to your inbox with the Zoom link in it. And next week's Zoom nutrition meeting is going to be about meal planning. It's going to be Tuesday, January 10th at 3 p.m. I look forward to seeing you there. And you can always find more information on the topics I'm covering at my website. So thank you for attending, and I'm so glad you came. It is Zoom Nutrition with Rose Patient. I'm a certified health coach, nurse, and master nutrition therapist. I will do these meetings every Tuesday at 3 p.m. And I look forward to meeting more of you as time goes on. And don't forget about my Friday food prep at 9 a.m. starting January 13th. Okay, have a beautiful day. Take care.